Welcome everybody, my name is Wayne Burke, Master Instructor for the EC Council. Now, it gives me great pleasure to bring you the Certified Ethical Hacker program. I wanted to start off with a brief overview of my history and experience and why I'm so excited to be delivering this program to you. Now, when I started out in the industry, it was that of a hardware engineer, where we had to actually put components and diagnose the components and not just chuck the motherboard out. So I then went on to follow the different technology balls, such as Microsoft. Recertified as an MCSE a number of times. I've done well over 100 different types of IT related exams, from Microsoft to Cisco to CompTIA and a whole slew of security certifications. However, I have to tell you folks that I don't teach week in, week out. I actually perform that of a role of a penetration tester, ethical hacker, and I specialize in digital forensics. I actually started out way back before even going into the industry as an IT specialist. I had to do my national service in law enforcement. And so therefore, folks, I didn't realize back then the importance of gaining that knowledge because of the actual help it's given me in security. So effectively, you're going to see this program is jam-packed full of hands-on practical. Theory is very, very important, but at the end of the day, you need to be able to have somebody that's going to lead you through this world of nothing pretty much is fixed as far as rules are concerned. So you're going to sit back, relax, and you are going to have a huge amount of fun throughout this program. Let's get rocking and rolling. So we're going to start this off with a broad overview of what we're going to be covering. Now, before I do that, I just wanted to mention that in 2002, when EC Council launched the ethical hacking program, I was one of the first instructors. What does that mean? Well, it means that I've got the experience to understand where they've come from, where they're going to. Folks, I've got to tell you, we're going to be covering 26 jam-packed modules throughout this program, whilst you in actual fact have more than 60 modules in the official curriculum from the EC Council. What does that mean, folks? I've seen everybody trying to get into the industry right now. Security, of course, is big hype. And let me tell you, the people that are trying to get in right now because they're just chucking course material together, well, I have to say, folks, this course really covers all those different areas. So it's not just about understanding the different tools that we can use. It's also understanding that we've got to be very versatile, dynamic. So we've got to think outside the box. I can show you all the latest and greatest of tools throughout this program, but really within a couple of months, your skills might be outdated. You've got to make sure that you keep yourselves updated, you keep researching, you keep practicing, and this program is going to give you all you need to do to keep yourselves in that realm of being a specialist in the IT security industry. So folks, I've got to say one last thing, that this is going to be a great course. I'm real excited to be delivering it. You can probably see my enthusiasm. Why? Because this is something I do not just to make money, but because I love it. It keeps me busy. It keeps me busy with regards to not losing sight of what I'm doing. If I get bored, I know there's a new technique, there's a new type of hack and attack that we're going to be covering very soon, and we've got to learn that. So sit back, let's get jamming. Starting off with a student introduction, and the purpose of this module is effectively to give you sufficient knowledge to truly understand what you need to do to make sure that you are successful in, of course, learning this information, but at the same time that you're going to be learning the objectives to go and pass the Certified Ethical Hacker exam and a number of other exams out there. So let's sit back and let's get into the introduction. Let's talk about how the CEH version 6 curriculum maps to how we've created the actual solution that you folks are watching right now. So there is 67 modules in total for the version 6 CEH official curriculum. And effectively the instructor, myself, will cover the first 26 modules. The rest of the modules are self-study. Now, it's also recommended that we didn't include module 11, 12, 13, and some other modules, which in actual fact we did because we felt it was necessary to give you folks really the full-blown solution. The good news from the EC Council certification program's point of view is that the actual exam that required to actually pass the CEH is only one single exam. Now, that doesn't mean to say in version 7 perhaps they may change that, but effectively to become a certified ethical hacker, you have to simply pass one exam. And so more information can be found on the eccouncil.org website. So I wanted to speak more specifically about the Certified Ethical Hacker track, and a very, very important note that a lot of people need to be aware of. Now, as we know, back in the Y2K days, there were a lot of people that were making a lot of money by effectively trying to print their own money. The security hype right now means that there's a lot of organizations, there's a lot of consultants that claim to be industry experts, professionals and so forth, and don't have that ability. Now that just means to say if you do not take the Certified Ethical Hacker Training class as an authentic and authorized course, you won't actually get a voucher. That also then affects you should you want to go up through the other tracks available from the EC Council. So as such, if you wanted to take the ECSA LPT, you wouldn't be able to take that program unless you actually attended an authentic and authorized course. Remember, our program is an authentic, authorized and endorsed program by the EC Council. So you would actually get the voucher numbers and so forth that you need to continue to go up through the track of other EC Council curriculums. Let's discuss some of the specifics for the exam and how you would actually book on the exam. Now, one's got to remember that for you folks, we are authorized to provide you the video. It does mean, though, that some of the actual providers out there may not have actually included the kits because it might have been a large volume, whatever the case was. So therefore, if you didn't get the official curriculum, which is effectively needed because with the official curriculum, you would get that exam voucher code, which you would have to provide to View or Prometric. So if you folks are watching the video and you didn't get the official curriculum, please contact the actual provider for the video. Now moving on to the real cool stuff of the exam, right? You got 150 questions, duration 4 hours, and you've got to get 70% to pass. The exam from the EC Council's mouth, this is a difficult exam and requires extensive knowledge of the CEH 67 modules. And this is one of the reasons why we've added a lot of enhancements to really ensure that you folks get the best out of the actual training, out of the money you've invested, so you can actually have a lot of the other add-ons. Let's talk about what the CEH is going to teach you. Looking first at the actual network security, which effectively is the defense. Cisco security, firewalls, IDSs, logs, network, antivirus. We're going to cover all of that. And as I've said, we've recorded 26 modules. On the other side of that scale, we're learning that why to stop the malicious folks. So you need to understand how the bad guys work, how they, as an example, launch denial of service attacks, how they utilize Trojans, worms, viruses, and how they also use the human art of social engineering to access perhaps information that you don't know you've even given out. And so with that being said, for us to catch a thief, you've got to think like a thief, and you've also got to know what different tactics and skills you of course need to know, because that's exactly what they're going to be using. And so when I first got into delivering and producing videos of this nature, I didn't really realize that the importance for most people purchasing it is for them to have the ability to move at their own pace. So if you think about it, for somebody that attends a 5-day instructor-led program, normally what happens is if they miss out on certain parts and the course finishes, well, that's it. They've lost out on having to get that knowledge or repeat that knowledge. So simply put, with the actual video solution that you folks have purchased, you've got the best of all worlds. You can pause, fast forward, rewind, do it again and again and again, and so you have the control for the actual speed cruise. Once again, just a quick cautionary note, remember you're not to use any of these skills for malicious purposes or for purposes of attacking a system you do not own. So for exercise practices, feel free to attack the certifiedhacker.com website. That website was developed by EC Council and it was purely meant for the students to try the tools on those live systems. So once again, make sure you refrain from using the exploits on any other domain on the internet unless you of course are authorized and you have written authorization. So in summary, folks, this module was intended just to give you some updated information, highlight some of the actual factors that you need to be aware of. Remember, we want you to succeed because at the end of the day, we provide you all the tools, all the techniques that you really need to be a very, very successful professional security person. So make sure you go and regularly check out the eccouncil.org website. As exam things may change. They might actually change the format, they might add different components, they might add other requirements that you may not be aware of. So of course, as we know the world, it changes day by day. So let's sit back now and get started with our Certified Ethical Hacker